What's up, beat culture? How y'all feeling? We y'all live right now. We got something to talk about on the stream, yo. Definitely. We have some things we gotta discuss. The MPC 3.0 has just released, or should I say the beta version of it. It's not available fully to the public, but the public could access the beta version of this. It's not a full, you know what I mean, like the official release, but they officially announced it, you know what I mean? And we're going to do a reaction to the video. From what I see so far, we're going to do our thing. But before we get started, we definitely want to get some things out of the way first. First of all, we are live. Okay. We also have links in the description of this video. We have a featured virtual instrument. I did a review recently on the Kultr Polyscape sound, the analog deal or whatever. That is a new deal if y'all interested in that. Also, keep in mind, I am a Maschine user. I use Ableton Live. I use Bitwig Studio. I am not a MPC user. However, let me let you guys know my background, how I got started. It was the MPC years ago that I was using when I was doing everything, but I was using the hardware version of the MPC. It was not what you guys are using these days. I own the MPC 2000. I own the 2000 XL. I had access to the MPC 3000, and I had access to the MPC 5000. Those were the models that I was using. I built a bunch of stuff on them. I had sounds and things like that. I sampled, man. That was my workflow. That alongside with my Kultr Triton Studio at that time, paired those together, went to the studio all the time, and that's how I was able to get my music onto ADATs and whatnot at that time frame. And I was using Logic Pro at that time, but then I was wanting some type of beat, some pads to bang on to trigger the stuff inside of Logic at that time. And the only thing that was available, this was before MPC stepped into this RAM. I discovered Maschine, and Maschine gave me the ability to flip flop back and forth between MIDI and using it as a plugin or a standalone inside of my computer, which I thought was like groundbreaking, which is, I feel like, while they're on the map right now for their capabilities and what they were able to do. However, in recent days, it seems that, you know, things has been quite quiet with native instruments. So, you know, it's like, what do you do at this point? How do you, you know, Maschine is still great. I still use it, and this video is not to tell y'all that I'm switching or anything like that. I just wanted to do this video because when I saw some of the stuff, and we're gonna go through this video because, yeah, it's got me over here like, whoa, okay, you know, got my gear spinning. So what's up to the chat? What's good? DL looks good, right? I don't know. Mad Spin, what's up? We got a lot of new faces, I would imagine, because of the title. If you guys are new here, please consider subscribing, because it's obviously the only way you're able to comment. If you need to comment and say something to me, I would appreciate you subscribe to the channel. And I mean, or not, because if you are an MPC person, you know, who knows? If Akai send me this device or send me something using the 3.0, then, you know, I can't say no, You know, we're going to obviously be covering some things on the channel, but that's future. I don't know what it is right now. We just doing a reaction. So Scientific is going to be free. Absolutely free for, I guess, all of you guys that has it already, right? I don't know what it would be for me, but you know what? The software was free anyway. I think even before 3 came out, it was free. But you know, I'm a type of person. I'm a tactile type person. You know, if you guys follow me on this channel, for any of you guys that know me, and based on the comments, you guys are new. I like using keyboards and machines and pads and things like that. In front of me, I have the Ableton Live. I have the Push 2. On the side of me, I have the Maschine MK3. Underneath that, I have the Complete Control MK3, Native Instruments' latest board here. You know what I mean? And then I have my other gear is packed up somewhere. I'm a tactile person. I need to be able to push things, and based on what I see here, where we're gonna go, we're gonna react to it. Yeah, I never really cared about the MPC. Like, I thought it was cool. You know, I did like the MPC. What is it? The Live 2. How I have speakers on those. I did think that was kind of cool, and just the fact that those models, you can take those in a portable fashion, and you know, with battery operation. You know, I never was too happy about the Maschine Plus, which is supposed to be the answer to the mobile situation, but you still have to plug somewhere into the wall somewhere, which is why I love the Push 3 a lot better, because I think it's pretty sweet for what it does. It gives you the option to, in a modular way, that is, to add a battery to it. Like, everybody is getting it, right? Maschine, I don't know. Native Instruments, if y'all watching, please don't take this the wrong way. It's not any bash, but I just feel like this is just a little bit fire, a little fire under the table, because you know, akai is kind of, they stepping on a lot of people's feet right now. They was kind of doing it already, but with this 3.0, bro, you know, it's got me over here like, man, this is crazy, bro. You know what I'm saying? Again, what's up to the chat? What up? DL say how? Let's see. Let me throw some stuff on the screen real quick. Say how did you keep up with your samples, where you got them from, and how did you get them clear for use? In other words, how did you get your samples clear, and did you organize your samples? So yeah, so first of all, you can organize your samples inside of, I don't know if you use a Mac or PC. It's Mac game over here all day. But I have folders breaking down different things or whatever. But that's not all true. I have folders for some stuff, but there's a lot of stuff I do download from places like Splice, or, you know, I have different packs that I've purchased from different places. Arcade is one that I use a lot, you know what I mean? And with places like that, public access to those places where it's available to the public, where everybody can get their hands on it, yeah, you will run into some copyright issues. So the way to get by those is just by, when you download a sample, take it and edit it, chop it, slice it, do different things, put effects on it to make it something different than what everybody else is doing. You know what I mean? That's the first way to clear that. I would steer clear away from copywritten material, like stuff that's already released under another record label. I would steer clear from that, just from one. But when you got places like Splice, you know what I mean? Everybody's paying a subscription to those type of places. But how do you separate yourself away from that? Again, just take it, do something different with that. All right. Now, depending on the DAW you're using, say like Ableton, whatever, right? You can take those and add those in different places to keep everything in organized. Like Ableton, I like how Ableton is structured in terms of like the folder, and like you can say this folder, I want this pack. You know what I mean? From wherever you got it from, you can have all that stuff in one folder and you see it immediately. Or you can save things to a favorite folder or whatever, and that's how you keep tabs on everything. And I think all DAWs work that way. It's just all of them kind of have something different going on. Bitwig is the same way. You can have a folder where you can put all of the samples in a place, and then when you are doing your thing here, you can access those files real quickly. I hope that answers your question. Mad Spin, I heard much needed version update for Maschine is dropping later. I heard that too. Tractor 4 just dropped a new days back. Yeah, I heard that. I seen the Tractor video like not too long ago. Yeah, I'm hearing that Machine's supposed to be dropping a new update pretty soon. Who knows? I don't know. They didn't give me an official feedback to that, but I'm hearing that as well, and I'm also reading that in forums. What's up, Nation of Barbaria? What's happening? What's happening? Yeah, live too. Okay. So DLU on the PC, that's what's up. Using Reason. I'm not familiar with Reason, but I'm pretty sure Reason is set up the same way. Like I say, you know, organizing, making folders, putting different things, categorizing things into folders. I know with Ableton Live, they got a new tagging structure that they have where you can tag your samples and whatnot. Yeah, so with that said, let's go ahead, guys, and let's get started. You said similar samples. Yeah, Ableton can do that. Ableton has this algorithm where if you click on a sample and it finds similar samples. Inside of Splice, it does that too. Inside of Loop Cloud does the same exact thing. But let's get to it, guys. Let's start reacting to this here. Here we go.
This is our biggest software update for the MPC standalone platform, elevating your productions, beat making, and live performances to a whole new level. MPC 3 introduces some of the most incredible features and enhancements, everything from a brand new enhanced
I'm gonna let the video play. I'm gonna step away, guys.
Q-Link macro controls through to disk streaming, all on board your MPC. So why don't you join me in this overview and we'll take a closer look at all of these brand new features. The first thing you'll see in MPC 3 is the brand new main mode. This has been significantly enhanced, providing incredible visual feedback and fast access to all of your key features, speeding up your workflow. So let's start with our track tab. This allows us to navigate between all of our different track types, which are now displayed visually. I'm on a drum track, and as I hit each pad, you can now see the sample displayed in the main mode. We can move the start and end point. If we double tap the sample, this takes us straight into our track editor. Here we can edit, warp our sample, but we've also added 8 layers now per pad, which is amazing for sound design or crafting your own drum samples. We've also added the arrangement tab. Here we can visually see all of our MIDI and audio events recorded on the selected track. If we double tap the MIDI, this takes us straight into the MPC's piano roll, which has been updated, which now displays colors that correspond to your pads and your kits. And there's also a number of enhancements to the drum grid. If you hold down Shift, you'll also see a select all. Now, if we navigate to an audio track, we'll be able to visually see our audio. And here we can double tap on our audio, and this again takes us straight into our audio editor. From here, we can use our toolbar to edit, cut, move our region around, to add in warp and reverse, which is great for manipulating our audio track. And this can all be achieved directly from the main mode. You can also edit your plugin instruments from the main mode. Navigate to an instrument track and you'll see a little icon. Press this will take you straight to the interface. Creating tracks in MPC has never been so easy. You now have a new track tab. Press this and we now display all of the different track types. We're going to press drums. Then we have a browser tab that takes us straight to our sound library. Here we can load up a drum kit, and it's instantly on the pads. We've also added a duplicate tab. Here, we can duplicate the current track.
I'm going to say right away that the view right now is so attracting to me, and visualizing the waveform, like how is the waveform attractive looking, right? Like you're just looking at a bunch of squiggly lines go across the screen. I'm telling you, people like me, I like seeing that, which is one of the things that attract me to Ableton and to get the push, because I enjoy looking at the samples and the MIDI information and different things that I can see on a screen right in front of me. And those are the type of things that keep you from looking at the computer screen all day, because we do that all the time. You know what I mean? But in order to keep the creative juices flowing, staying on the hardware device, this is why I am attached to hardware right now. But let's keep it moving.
That you have selected. Now I have 2 instances of my drum kit. You can also sample direct to a pad in the new main mode. You see a record tab, simply press this, and now you can select the desired pad. Let's start our sample. And now we're sampling directly to that pad.
I agree, Mad Spin.
Let's finish our sample. And now we'll go back to our main mode, and our sample is now directly on the screen. Here we can double tap the sample, taking us straight into our editor. MPC 3 features a one-to-one track workflow, speeding up your production. This means everything from kits, plug-in instruments to key groups are now loaded on their own unique track, making your projects clear and fast. You also have everything from subgroups, sender returns to your master channels, all with their own dedicated track. And you can also apply plugin effects directly onto these mixer tracks. To edit sequences, you can access our track edit by hitting the pencil icon. Now you can see all the functions available. We can also press arrangement and press our pencil tool, and you can now access all of the editing functions available.
Okay, we're gonna stop it right there because he mentioned arrangement, and so yeah, that is huge. That is huge. Coming from Studio One specifically, I feel like they, well, in my opinion, I think Reason might have something like this as well. I think it's something like arrangement blocks or something like that. But coming from Studio One, I can only speak from that standpoint. We got this thing called Arranger Tracks. And Arranger Tracks, I love using that because I'm able to arrange the song freely and real quick. Instead of selecting everything within a certain range, because you have to like take a selector tool and select everything. But like, say like you're dealing with like 30 plus tracks, you know how daunting that can be. That can be very frustrating. You got to select one area, you know what I mean, and get to the edge or the start of it, and you got to go all the way down or up, if you, depending on where you started, and then take that and take it to wherever you want to copy it to in the arrangement window. In Studio One, you just create the song, the structure, intro, verse, chorus, pre-chorus, vamp, whatever. You just select, create, arrange, and you just take the block and just move it to wherever. You can duplicate from there, or you can take it and swap with another. It's just so easy to do that. Otherwise, in other DAWs like Ableton, Bitwig, they deal with markers only. See, Studio One gives you markers and the arrange. You know what I mean? So for me, it was always real quick to just move stuff around. I love that. That was a favorite feature. So, you know, when he mentioned that, that got me thinking, all right. You know what I'm saying? Snipe, what's up, bro? Come on over to the dark side. Yeah, man. Snipe, we need to have a conversation, sir. All right. When you say stuff like that, because you said that about Ableton, and I felt like I'm kind of locked in there for a little bit. But when you say that about MPC, that means That means we finna have a lot of conversations. I hope your scales were free. Let's keep
And
it
if we
going.
go to the top to our sequence, we can now access all of our global sequence edit tools.
I like the dark
menu
side,
screen
sir.
has been enhanced and improved with new graphics for MPC 3. Track edit that used to be program edit, along with everything from track view, cue links, through to sample edit and sampling. We've also added
What's
the
up,
new
Dre?
XL channel strip. This enhances the mixing experience all within the main mode. Here,
803
we
in
can
the building.
quickly
What
access
up?
everything from our volumes to our panning on each track and pad. If we press effects, this now brings up our plugin effects. Simply press the effect and now the interface will come up on the screen. We can also rearrange the order of our plugins simply by moving them up or down. Here, I can just move flex beat down on our chain and we can move it back up. We can also turn our effects on and off simply by holding them down. Just hold your finger on the plugin and it will simply turn it on and off. And you can use this process across any of the insert channels. Now for our sends, we have an intelligent
Man, y'all hit that
follower.
thumbs up.
So as we
Thumbs
hit our
up, thumbs up.
sends, it brings up
Got
the return
14 people
channel
watching, only 4
automatically.
likes. Come on, y'all.
So I can hit
Give me
number
them
3
thumbs up.
or number 4, and now you see the returns and the plugins that have been assigned. Let's add some reverb on send 1.
What's up,
Now let's
Mr.
go to
Piano?
send 2, which has delay. And then the last tab is your I/O tab. Now if we press the pad icon, this allows us to use the XL channel strip to apply effects individually to our pads. Now you can also access the Rack Effects factory library. Simply press the tab and now you have a whole array of effects that you can apply to the selected track. Here, simply push down and now the effects are loaded onto that channel. You also have a shortcut tab. Here, you can access all of your favorite features from sounds.
It just seems
to
like
the
things
new
are more
track editor,
streamlined.
which used to be
I've
the
seen
program
many
editor. Here, you
NPC
can access
videos
all
of
of
people
your key
creating.
features.
It never
If you
really
go into the menu,
enticed my
you can
interest,
customize these settings
although I have
to
an
create
NPC
your own
background.
shortcuts. Simply hold on the icon
But this right here,
and move it around the screen.
you see
to
what he's doing?
customize your own layout.
The touchscreen does
If you
add it,
hold down a
and
track,
I ain't gonna lie.
this takes
I
you
can't
into
hate
the
on
track
that.
settings.
Touchscreen is nice.
Here, we can actually change the reordering of our track number. So if we want to move our drums to track 2, so you can now reorder your tracks that fits your workflow. Now that you've seen the new main mode, let me show you how easy it is to make a beat using all of these new features. Now I've got a drum kit loaded on track 1 and I'm going to start with a melodic. And if we open up our XL channel strip, well, I've got some effects assigned to our melodic sample and we're going to control those from our cue links. So let's close that down and we're on 4 bars. Let's hit record and play.
Man, that screen
Now
is
let's turn on
attractive.
automation and let's add flex beat with a hint of reverse.
Come on now. Come on. Come
Just
on.
modernizing our loop, turn off
What?
automation, lay down our hats. Now as you see, the arrangement shows my MIDI events. Now let's go to note repeat. We'll add some triplets in there.
This just makes sense.
Now
I like
let's add our kick and snare.
I
Press
like how
overdub,
everything is coming in real time and I can see it on the screen.
and again, you'll
That's
see
the part
MIDI
that's intriguing
notes
to me.
being entered into the arrangement. Now let's just finish off the drums with some textures and percussion. Now let's add our 808. So we're going to hit the pad, go to our track editor, and now turn this into a key group. Go to our arrangement and hit record. And now you see our notes being entered onto our grid.
Okay, let's pause here. Let's pause here. I'm about to make a point. Now, I'm not sure who exactly is watching this video. I'm pretty sure Personas is probably watching me. I can imagine Akai is watching because they want to see what people are saying, their thoughts or whatever. Especially since we're in beta mode, you know what I mean. They want to see what people are saying. I'm pretty sure Native Instruments is watching me. So I'm gonna be making some mentions or whatever, kind of going back and forth because I use all these products. But this right here, what he just shown, this is something I've been trying to say or trying to address towards Personas forever. And I don't know. I don't know what it is. I don't know if they heard or if they plan to do this, but in its current sampler, you can't do this. You have if you're dealing with 808s like what he just performed, you have to take that and put it into sample 1, which is an additional deal with Studio One. Logic got it. I remember when Logic made that update in their sampler. Inside the sampler, all you have to do is hit a button that allows you to key track. You can, turn on the key deal and program the different notes in there. People that wants to change the pitch of their hi-hats, once again, you got to do something totally different inside of Studio One to achieve that. Live is the same deal. A Bitwig is the same deal. Maschine is probably the only one that can do what he just did. Inside a Maschine on a pad, all you gotta do is go to keyboard mode and you can program the beat, program the notes or chords or whatever you're doing on the pad itself, bro. This is fire. And I would imagine since he's breaking it down like that, MPC wasn't able to do that before. See, I'm not an MPC user, so I don't know what was available in here already and then what is new features. But it seemed like that's something that is new. Let's keep it moving.
Now that we've done our bass line, we want to do a plug-in instrument track.
Right, if Maschine had a touchscreen.
Here, we can now select a plug-in instrument. We'll select a preset. And now let's lay down our piano melody. And again, all of your MIDI notes.
This feels like a glorified iPad. You know what I'm saying? All of the apps that you could download onto your tablet these days, because the tablets or the iPad is touchscreen. It's like having an iPad on your machine or on your device.
Lay down our melody, go to arrangement.
Yeah, so that's just 16 levels. Well, 16 levels. Okay, so 16 levels, it depends on what you're saying. Are you talking 16 levels in terms of volume? Because on the Maschine, you can take one pad and you can go in there and go 16 levels of volume. So when you say that, you got to be descriptive of what you're saying. But I think I know what you're saying based on what I just said. There's definitely 16 pads because that's what MIDI is. MIDI is 16 channels. It's been like that forever. So 16 pads in front of you, of course. You can only load up 16 pads, right? But what I'm saying is on that one pad, when you hit the keyboard button, that's what unleashes the full key bed to you within that one pad. And that's not 16 notes. That's the full spectrum. You know what I'm saying? That's what I was saying. That's what he just displayed on that actual pad itself. You know what I mean? So when you hit the keyboard mode, he within those 16 pads, he was able to achieve those notes that he just performed. But I'm pretty sure there's an octave button or a semi button, because that's how Maschine works. You can probably go an octave higher, however many octaves up or down. He just didn't do it here on the screen. But yeah, let's keep moving.
And add a vocal sample. As you can see, the new main mode really does speed up your beat production and workflow. MPC 3 includes a fully integrated arranger, allowing you to take your MPC sequences and seamlessly record, edit, and arrange on a linear timeline from start to finish. You can record MIDI, audio, edit, and arrange on a stunning DAW-style layout with complete control of your compositions. Now to enter the arranger, go back to the main menu and press the Arranger tab. Here we can see our beat on multiple tracks across a timeline, which we can construct into a song. So let me play the beat that I've made. Now if you want to change tracks, just simply touch the screen, or we can hold the main menu down, so it's very easy to navigate. We can use the playhead, which we can control from our cue links to scroll across our timeline. We can also navigate around the arranger using cue links, so we can zoom in vertically and horizontally for any fine editing. We can also reset our screen by hitting the reset button. Now, if you hold down Shift, we can actually set up song markers across our timeline. As an example, I want to make a song marker for my chorus.
What's up, Taxi?
So I move my playhead, hold down Shift, and press Set. Now we have that as a location. Now to jump between my markers, just press play, hold down Shift. We can also create a loop point, which is really useful for punching in and out and for editing. Here we can use our cue link to set the length of the loop. Once we've set the loop, we can press play, and now we'll loop around that section. Now, if we want to edit this section, we can now bring up our editing tools for the arranger. This allows us to erase, clear, trim, and many other features. Now, if I want to erase this section, I press erase, and now my loop markers are already being detected. So now we're going to erase between bars 8 and 9. I select the track, and now I can do the same on my audio. Simply press do it, and now we've created a transition
As y'all
drop
come in,
on this
remember
part of our song.
thumbs up on the video. Appreciate it. Subscribe to the channel.
You also have a list of editing features
That
per
was
track.
dope what he did.
If we hold down the track, you will see a pop-up. Here we have everything from delete track, half speed, through to bouncing samples and audio tracks.
That's
This is
fire.
great if you want to take a particular
That's
part.
fire. You see how you just hold something and then some options come up? That's fire. That's fire. Now that's cool. I can get with that.
A loop and bounce it down to an audio.
When you could do that, that eliminates diving deep into a menu somewhere, which I kind of heard that from somebody. Actually, I ain't hear that. I did hear it, but that's not where my comment right now is inspired from. My comment that I'm making right now is inspired from all of the videos I see some of you guys do using MPC, and I'm like, this thing is so clunky and like it didn't inspire me to get into it. You know what I mean? Akai is great for releasing like 12 billion different hardware devices every year. It's like right? It's like a different hardware every 3 months. Like Akai, man, they be pushing these joints like crazy. You know, every time I go to sleep, I wake up, there's a new MPC release. Like, dang, dude, they just dropped a new one like last week, bro. Like, there's a new one already. If I'm exaggerating, it just feels like that. But I've always just thought it was cool, you know. Like, my big takeaway from these devices is that they're portable. I think that's dope. It's portable. That's probably like the biggest thing right now, being that it's portable. This particular model we're looking at has speakers on it. I think that's cool as well. It's not a real big thing for me. You know, I don't really care that much, but it is kind of cool that it has speakers on it. So that means I don't have to always put in headphones. Sometimes I want to hear my music out loud. Well, all the time I want to hear it out loud. And I wouldn't really trust speakers on a freaking device anyway, but I'm just saying. You know what I mean? I think that is kind of cool. But sometimes you just want to rock out. You don't want headphones in, you know what I'm saying? So I think that's dope. But with this software update, bro, that is the only reason why we are covering this on this channel, because the software, the 3.0, I think this intrigued me. It was like, whoa, what is, whew. Let's keep it moving, guys.
Audio track. We can also edit our individual MIDI and audio regions.
What's up,
Simply
Dre?
select the track and the part you want to edit and double tap. Now I can use all my audio editing tools where I can cut my audio. We can move the section.
That range
just
is
by
dope,
moving
ain't
the
it?
region around
See,
on the screen.
This is where Akai gets extra brownie points right here, because some way, somehow, they get it. They get it. You know what I mean? The original workflow, again, I'm not an MPC user, but just looking at a bunch of videos and also having my fair share of experience using the hardware units. This was before the Renaissance hit. I bought my Maschine before the Renaissance came out. The Renaissance, I remember that like it was yesterday. It was the first model that came out with this type of technology where you can take it, you know, and kind of do like what Maschine was doing. Maschine was the only one doing what they were doing at that time when I was looking to use pads and use plugins and, you know, use the program as a plugin and, you know, just that type of thing. You know what I mean? There wasn't no MPC on this level. It was just the hardware, guys. But and then when the Renaissance came out, I'm like, I'd already invested in the Maschine. I'm like, dang, dude, like if this would have been available to me when I was in that realm and when, you know, in the ecosystem, I would have gotten a Renaissance, and this channel would have probably been an MPC channel, bro. This would have been a channel for that. But it just didn't work out that way. Let's keep it moving.
And this makes it really fast if you like working with audio files. Now we can do the same with MIDI. We simply select the track where we have our MIDI information, open up the editor, and from here we can use our toolbar and go in and edit all of our MIDI notes.
I can't validate that because I don't know.
We can also add automation directly in the arranger to our tracks and even our masters and our buses. If we press the bus tab here,
the speaker is on the two, not the one.
Channel.
Got it.
So we can scroll down, find the outputs 1 and 2, open up our track editor, and here we simply add new, and we're going to add our air filter, and we're going to have a cutoff at the beginning of our song, and we simply draw it in our timeline.
Macco Beats, what's up?
This allows us to add automation.
Appreciate the thumbs up.
Whole song structure. You can also export your arrangement as audio stems or even as an Ableton session, so you can send off to a mix engineer. We also have a drop-down menu just by touching the UI, which gives you some useful shortcuts. You have everything from time correction, loop, to automation and metronome. You can also create global tempo changes via automation. Simply go to sequence tempo, and now you can draw this on the timeline. So if you want certain types of BPM at a part of your song, you can now draw those in directly into the timeline. Now that you've seen the new arranger, let me show you how you can take a typical 4-bar MPC sequence and turn it into a song structure. And I'm going to be using the MPC 1+. Now, whenever you create an MPC sequence, it will automatically be in the arranger window. Here's our 4-bar beat.
Macco Beats, how dare you? Turn that thing on.
So the first thing I want to do is start structuring my song. So I'm going to double the length twice. So it's going to give us 16 bars to work with. So now we can start structuring this. So I'm going to get my loop point, and we're going to take our cue links, and we're going to move our loop point back to the first 4 bars. And from here, I can start creating my intro to my.
Do you think, well, do you think it's worth the time invested in changing your native instrument expansions into? I don't know. The good thing about expansions from native instruments is that there is a section where all of the waveforms are in there, the samples and loops. There are wave files in there. So if you wanted to use an expansion with MPC, you can so do that. I don't know if it's worth it. I think it's, when you say worth it, that's so that's subjective. You know what I mean? It's definitely a subjective situation. Something is worth it to a person when I guess when they're sitting there looking at it like, dang, when you've already put into perspective that this is something for you, it might be becoming worth it. Now it just depends on like where you're coming from. Like, is the financial issue if financially it's not an issue, then it would be like, is it worth it spending money on this? I have the money, but does it make sense? At that point, you're on a different level. At that point now, you're trying to figure out, is it worth it? And I feel like at that point, it's all about workflow, 100%. 100%. And I think, well, even when you say workflow, that even will trigger someone who's dealing with the financial aspect of it. Because if you look at this workflow and you feel like this works for you, you're going to find the money from somewhere. You know what I mean? Like, money is not going to become an issue. You're going to work towards getting on this ecosystem, So I really can't answer that. I don't know. I say continue watching videos. Watching my video on this is just a reaction. I don't have the MPC, but I guess it's a good start because you're seeing someone that don't have MPC react to something like this. But definitely watch some channels that use MPC, and you can kind of make it up to you if it's worth it or not. That's kind of how I will go about this. Yeah, absolutely. Garrett says you can convert impact NI expansions into MPC. Absolutely. But the whole thing is it worth it? You know what I mean? Because there are some stuff, like if you're like me, you got a bunch of instruments or whatever. And to be honest with you, you probably could use Complete inside of the MPC. You know what I mean? If you have those instruments, like the new Alicia electric keys that I just covered on the channel, y'all go check that video out. You can probably pull up some of those products inside of here, I would imagine. So that would be something worth doing. Like if Akai was to send me this, and if Akai was to send me this, that's going to be the first thing that I'm going to want to test. Can I use complete control inside of this product and still use all of my virtual instruments? Because I can't put those down. Those are my babies. When I say worth it, I mean, is a result of doing that beneficial to your projects. I have MPC Live 2 that I need to start using, but also have Complete Ultimate. I have to merge to 2. See, that's what I'm saying, DL. It all goes back to the same thing. You know what I mean? Like, in terms of it being worth it to you, well, first of all, when you stepping outside of the ecosystem to get something else because you watch Ella talk about a 3.0 version of a software, when you have, native instrument stuff, you know what I mean? Is it worth it? First of all, adding on to your learning curve to a whole nother, see, that's the first thing. You got to learn this new device, the new software. That's the first thing. You're going to be spending a lot of time with looking at videos to figure out stuff. You're going to have some headaches, and it's going to take you longer to finish something. Now, speaking of projects, like, I think whatever projects you're working on, complete those, get those out, submit those in the current situation. That would be my best bet for the projects that you're currently in. If you're trying to like switch over something in a current project, that is definitely not a great idea. I wouldn't advise that. Welcome Johnny Streams to the stream. I just keep it moving.
Beat. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to click on my region, hold it down, press mute.
Remember, guys,
go
thumbs
to the
up,
next part,
subscribe,
and so forth. This means that it's instantly muting the region. Now for my MIDI, I'm going to click on the
Now,
track.
okay, y'all seen what he just did? Now, what he did was long press on those regions to get pop up something, the mute or delete. Now, in my opinion, I'm not an MPC user, so I can't really speak truly to that. Like, who am I to even have no opinion about that, right? You know what I'm saying? But I kind of feel like that can be kind of one of those annoying things that you have to do if that's what you're going for. I feel like maybe a double tap might be cool, and having the option to customize your double taps. So like if I double tap, it deletes it or it mutes it, like somewhere in the settings where I can you know what I mean? I can do that. Gestures, you know, maybe the screen is not optimized to do stuff like that, but long pressing on something for extra menu to pop up for other sections of this deal might be cool, but like for something like that, I don't know, because I feel like that's something that I will be doing quite often, and for fast workflow, I need to be able to boom 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 double tap. I want to delete that or mute it. Boom 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 boom. Then I got to sit there and hold long press for an option. I don't know. Maybe I'm being too much right now. Like, bro, just keep moving.
I'm going to go to edit, and I'm going to erase our first 4 bars, which are automatically synced to our loop point. So now I've made my intro.
You said you believe that Akai is already working on allowing third-party usage in standalone mode. Oh, standalone mode. Because this is standalone mode, right? Oh, I never really even like thought about that. So he is working in standalone mode, huh? Like, so this is not connected to the computer. I mean, I do know that it works in standalone mode, but I'm like, for right now, this is not standalone. Because I think later on in here he mentioned you can pull up third party. Let's keep moving. I think he did mention you can pull up third party stuff. Do I make tutorial videos?
So our next step is I want to start working on my verse and pre-chorus. So again, what I'm going to do, hold down the region, and I'm just going to mute the parts that I don't want, so they drop after my first initial chorus. So I'm going to take these out. And then on the second part, the pre-chorus, I'm going to keep the piano section just to give it some contrast. And again, we're going to mute these. And now I'm going to take my loop point because I want to drop out some of my drums. So we're going to take our loop marker.
I ain't gonna even trip. I do hate how like YouTubers have an issue about everything a manufacturer does. It's like when they make an update, it's like, man, this is gonna be perfect. You know what I mean? Like we're happy to tell people about it, and then some fool get on the video and be like, yeah, this is nice, but if it can do this, if it can do that. And I think I did the same thing. Because I'm one of those people that sits on the other end like, bruh, are you serious? How is you having the issue with everything that they doing? But the company does appreciate feedback from us. You know what I mean? They do value our inputs on these things. So I get that. You know what I mean? It seems like everything that, like even things that they answer, you know, like issues that we have issues with before, and then the company fixes a problem with something that majority of people is liking, and then this one dude comes on and be like, yeah, it's better, but only if it could do this. But anyway, I just lost my train of thought. Yeah, that's yeah, I just feel like I have no place to say anything, but y'all see that long press thing is like, whoa, I don't know. Maybe it's cool. Maybe it's cool. Maybe it'll work out. Let's keep
And
moving.
I'm going to take this and we're going to take the back end of our beat and we're going to erase this section here from 12 to 13, which is 1 bar. And I'm going to do the same from 16 to 17. And again, take that 1 bar out. And now I've constructed the first part of my track. And now I'm going to take my chorus, which is at the beginning, and I'm going to move that to after my pre-chorus. So we're going to copy events, and I'm going to copy that twice. So we put the number in here. We're going to move that to bar 16, and then copy it twice. So I've now created my song structure in no
mode.
time at
All
all,
right,
just from 4 bars. So we can now play this back.
DL, what type of stuff you looking for? Just like I do, man. This channel got like over 1,000 videos.
So now we're coming to the end of our chorus. There's all our muted parts. And then here's our drum stop. And there's our extra piano that we kept on the second half. And again, and here's our last stop. Back around to our chorus. Now we can also record straight into the arranger to add additional parts to our song.
Oh,
So
Gary,
we
use the
simply just
force.
press overdub, and now I'll punch in my vocal. And then we can bring in a cymbal coming into our chorus. Now we can take this a step further by adding automation to individual tracks. So I've got my melodic, I'll open up my track editor, go to my grid, and here we can select any of our plugins by add new. I'm going to add my air filter. We're going to go to cutoff, and we're just going to do some automation at the very beginning. And then let's play back. You can see how easy it is now to use the arranger to construct your beat
That's what's up.
ideas into full song arrangements in no time at all. You can also use the arranger to build up your beats and productions from the ground upwards across a
Once
linear
again, I
timeline
appreciate how
with
things are
DAW.
coming in real
I'm using
time,
the
like seeing
Kultr
everything
7,
on the screen.
So let's dive straight in.
Like a
and
DAW.
show you how this takes
That's-
workstation production to a whole
I
new
think that's
level.
the thing that
So
gets
let's
me.
start by laying down our beat. I'm going to hit record. And like a DAW,
This
I'm
right
just
here.
recording on a linear timeline.
I like his style right here. That's fire.
And now I'm overdubbing my drum parts. Let's add this guitar sample. So now our drums are feeling good. Now let's jump to our next track. So on this track, what I'm going to do, I'm going to be adding a sample, which I've got here, and we're just going to record this straight onto its own track. And again, we're just working on a timeline. So now I'm going to bring up a
I like how
string
easy it is to
instrument.
switch to a new
We're just going
track.
to have a holding note.
I wonder if you can just press the new track, like on the side, the left side.
This really puts the beat in the right pocket.
But he's just hitting the track button.
So now that we've done that, let's hold down main, let's jump to our next track, and we're going to do like a real out of time pluck, just to add to the rhythm.
Yeah, why don't you just press the track on the side? I don't know. Maybe there's a reason.
Now let's head over to our bass line, take our octave down, and drop this in. Now that we've got our bass line, Let's end our track. We'll give it some sizzle with an ARP. Using the arranger to build out your tracks gives you even more inspiration and possibilities with MPC 3. MPC 3 is fully compatible with MPC Stem.
I'm going to also say this. Appreciate the new subscriber. Appreciate you. Let's pause right here. Thumbs up on the video, guys. If you guys are enjoying yourself, we are doing a reaction to Akai MPC 3.0. I am not new to this side. I'm more so, I guess I don't know, grandfather, you know, one of in the OG RAM, so to speak. You won't see MPC content on this video. I was using the hardware, not the digital stuff. I was before any of this stuff started to take place. But so I'm familiar with the MPC. I owned several of them. I was teaching people how to use the MPC. You know what I mean? I use the MPC all the time as tracking. You know, I'm a drummer. I play the drums, and I will use the MPC as backing tracks, as loops behind each song we play. You know, that was one way I was using it, and I was also using it in production. So I'm not new to the MPC world. However, when this started to take place, I never dove into it, if that makes any sense. So I'm kind of new in this next ram of things, when ever since the Renaissance released and like where it took off from there, I'm new to all of this here. I watch several videos and I see people work, and it never enticed me to spend the money to go and grab MPC. Even though the software is free, I see people talk about it. I just never had any interest to do that. But now looking at 3.0, things are looking rather interesting. So anyway, on this channel, I do a lot of tutorial videos, and what I try to do is make videos based on production. You know what I mean? Putting music together, no matter what devices you're using to put together. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter. So if you are a Reason user, Studio One user, Pro Tools user, Cubase user, Logic, Bitwig, Ableton Live, no matter what you're using, my goal on this channel is to help you guys tap into the creative side of yourself. You know, grabbing a sample from somewhere, chopping it up, doing something different with it, or using an instrument. You know, like I cover quite a bit of instruments as they release. Take those, changing knobs, making them sound different from the preset, putting effects on stuff. You know, you could do that with any DAW. So like the goal is that just kind of show you guys, don't be afraid to do that type of stuff in your music, get something different. That's kind of the background of this channel. I tend to upload a lot of videos using Studio One, Bitwig, Ableton, that type of thing, but you don't have to have any of those to join and be a part of the channel. You know, a lot of people watch the channel just to get ideas, concepts, being inspired overall. You know, that's what I hope that you guys carry out. So, you know, I don't want you guys going and grab Ableton Live because you see me use it all the time. You know, just kind of like, you know, to see how things are going in terms of like the beat making process. That's the goal here. But I get it though. You know, it's easier for someone to follow along with that has the same stuff as you. You know, if you got MPC, you're gonna follow those people who use MPC. But I gotta tell you, a lot of people that do MPC videos, there's definitely something about them. A lot of them are not musical. I just probably stepped on some toes there. But maybe not, because those people that make music don't know that they're not musical. That's just the vibe. You know, a lot of videos I watch that people using MPC, most of them are doing trap or boom bap. Probably more boom bap than everything, but no one is actually creating real songs like R&B stuff, things that has chord progression and melody lines, and just kind of using it like you would FL Studio or Studio One, or you know what I mean? Yeah. And maybe there was a reason behind it, because just based on how it used to look, it was like what? But now that things change, I feel like just based on the software and the capability, someone like me that appreciate the linear workflow might be able to dive into something like this, and we might be doing something different than what you guys usually see people that use the MPC. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Let's keep it moving.
So if you own an MPC Stems license, you can activate it directly inside the software. Now, once we've created our stems in MPC 3, we can even use features like the arranger to play back our stems.
It's my fault. I'm sorry.
Now, I've loaded up my stems directly inside the arranger, and I've assigned my cue links to control the mutes by going into my project.
I'll be sure in the building. What up, man?
So now, when I turn my cue link, I'm muting my stem tracks in real time. This is a great way to create different types of ideas.
8 terabyte SSD is still
stems.
expensive.
MPC 3 is now the ultimate control service, providing endless possibilities using the new macro controls. Here, you can create complex effects chains through to multiple synth parameters that can all be automated and controlled from your cue links. So in MPC 3, you can create custom project maps with endless combinations of effects and synth parameters assigned to your cue links. If you hold down the cue link button, we can access all of our different modes. Here you can see that there's now 2 project modes, so you can jump between these live or in a studio with your own custom settings. Now, any of the cue links can have endless controls, so on cue link 4, I have Dura, and I have 5 parameters assigned to that one single cue link.
Yeah, DL. So my statement about like majority of the people that you will see is definitely not to throw shade towards anybody. You know, that's definitely not what I'm doing, and it's not saying that all of them are the same, because there are some machine heads that when you see stuff on YouTube of them making anything, you know, it's like it's usually and you know the thing about the softwares, what they try to do is create ways to help people make beats faster, and you know, being able to do things that they can't do manually on their own. You know what I mean? Like this macro thing that he's talking about right now. Like being able to create macros and do these different things. Not many people know how to create these things on its own. You know what I mean?
And now if I turn the dial, it's automatically mapped to my cue link. And we can keep adding more parameters using MIDI learn.
But that might be the wrong way to explain that. But what I'm saying is, I mean, macros is cool for definitely for a bunch of things to take place at one time in one knob. Okay, so that's great, because who wants to go to 50 different places to do something, especially for like in a live scenario? But I don't know if you guys understand what I'm saying. It's like I think that's why there is like this schematic. I'm trying hard not to stereotype people, but that's exactly what's going on here. It's like, you know, you look up an MPC video, more than likely people are doing boom bap, and there is a lot of sample chopping, of course. You know what I'm saying? And I'm never going to say that that's not real music. And I'm never going to say that people are half stepping or they're like bypassing the, knowing music theory. Cause I don't really know music theory like I should. I know a little bit, but that's not really my point. That's not really my point. My whole point is based on the old software and what they did here. I feel like it opens up a lane for producers and not beat makers. See, that's a whole nother topic right there. There's a difference. Producers can get in here and do stuff now. You know what I'm saying? Not saying that there were producers that couldn't do anything in here. I feel like they're, depending on who you are, it's just really all about workflow. If you feel like this work for you, no matter who you are, then, you can do whatever with whatever. But with this new layout, it unleashes that lane, which is why I stuck with Maschine for a minute now, because with Maschine and more so the instruments, I feel like the instruments that we have is more so geared towards everybody, to be honest with you. But like if you want to do TV score, like there's a lot that covers that type of stuff if you're doing TV music, which is why I use it heavy, because I do stuff like that. Let's keep moving.
Also use MPC's XY pad control to set up all of our own custom macros. Here I have 4 banks available on my XY pad, which can be assigned any number of parameters. We have our X-axis, Y-axis for different quadrants, and then we can even use each column on our XY pad to assign any number of parameters. If you come out of full screen, you can actually see all of the different parameters that I have assigned. We can hit our plus sign, and now we can just keep adding as many parameter effects to that one column as we desire. Now to remove a parameter,
agree with you.
Just press the bin icon.
It's only one Kanye
So now
West.
let's go back to full screen and let me show you how this works in a live performance.
Dilla. Oh my gosh, man! Let's pay mad respects to Dilla, man. 803 just brought up his name. We gotta pay major respects to Dilla, man. Man, this dude right here was the GOAT. He was the GOAT. If only he was still here and he saw this, you know what I feel? He would be the one on this video presenting it to us. He would be the guy, I feel like. And this probably would have, I feel like things would have been so different. Like this program would have probably already been here. Maybe not. Because he was just so good at what he was doing even before he was in my RAM. He was using the hardware before it became digital like this here. You know what I mean? He was doing what he was doing. Just imagine what he could do with this stuff now. Like, man, he'd be crazy with this type of stuff, man. Or maybe he may not care for it. Maybe he will still be using the hardware. Like, nah, I'm good right here, because with the hardware stuff, there was limitations. If any of you guys knew what making beats on a hardware, and I don't mean, I'm not saying what this guy is doing in this video is not hardware. I mean like the hardware that was designed on its own, it was doing what it was doing, that did not connect to a computer of no sort. That's what I mean when I say hardware. There were limitations in there. There were sample limitations. Your sample limitations was based on the memory inside your deal. Y'all remember that? Zip drives and scuzzy discs, floppy discs. You know what I'm saying? So you couldn't sample for a very long time. You could only sample like a few seconds, and that was just based on what that unit was capable of doing. I think you can go in and expand it, give it a bigger memory or whatever. But the one I had, it was only a few seconds long, so I had to definitely sample something. And I think it was like a cache sample, like quick memory sample. Sample it, hurry up and get it down to a pad, chop it, truncate it or whatever, and then you can come back and sample some more if you want to. But like at one take, you couldn't sample for a very long time. That's how it was. That's how it was designed. But anyway, let's keep moving.
That's bringing in my reverb, and then a master filter, pitch shift on the vocal, master filter.
Dealer with stems, yep. But y'all see what he's doing right now?
On the drums.
Check this out.
Back in. And this is a drum roll, all assigned. Back out. Reverb. And then mute.
That's dope.
MPC 3 introduces a vertical track and pad mixer with vibrant color feedback, making it fast and intuitive.
Okay, let's go.
To mix your beats
let's go.
In MPC.
We're talking about the mixer now.
Now to access the new track mixer, let's go to main, and I've got this on a shortcut. So we press the icon, and now we can see all of our tracks within our project, which all have their own unique color tied to the track. Now to change tracks, simply touch the interface. And if you hold down Shift, we can select multiple channels, which is great for gain staging. Now if we double tap the channel, this brings up our track settings. Here we can rename, recolor the track, and we can also move the order around of our track. So if we want to move the bass from 2 to 3, we can do so. Then our second tab is our panning and volume. So here we can go in, we can arm, mute, solo, and pan all of our individual tracks with ease. Then we have our send effects. Here we can apply how much of the send amounts we want per track.
The Reaper in the building, what up?
Our next tab is our plugin effects. Here we can insert our effects onto our individual channels, and we can also change the order of our effects by simply pressing the cursor up and down. Then our next tab is our I/O. Here we can set up all of our separate outputs per track, and then our last tab, you can get to track settings. Now to access the subgroups and masters, if we simply swipe on our screen, here we can now access all of our groups, our returns, and our master output channels.
I agree with you, the
Here,
Reaper.
we can simply name,
Let's
change the
throw you on
color
the screen
of our
real
tracks
quick.
to suit your project. Now to access the pad mixer, let's go to our pad icon, and now we have all of the same features, but these are applied to your individual pads. So we can select each channel, we can select multiple pads for gain staging, we can go to our pan and volume, then we have our send and returns. Again, this is applied per pad.
That's a good question,
That's
803.
reverb. Then we have our effects tab where we can apply our plugin effects per pad, and then we can set up our I/O. In MPC 3, we've added a new sample chop feature called Slice Motion, which allows you to take the feel from any type of loop, from a hi-hat to percussion to a breakbeat, taking the feel, then randomizing the chops, which are triggered by MIDI notes from a pad. So here's a loop that I'm going to be using. And what I want to do, I want to randomize the chops. So what I'm going to do is we're going to go to our main menu and we're going to go to sample edit. And I've already chopped this into 16 regions. So if we go to our main menu and on this pad, which where I've got my loop, I've actually triggered it 16 times. Now this will correlate to our chops. So what it's doing, it's triggering the loop, but it keeps triggering it from the beginning. So now if we turn on our slice motion, we can trigger the loop in increments, but we can tell it at what slice we want it to start. So we might want to start the loop at 3 or chop 5. But what we can also do is randomize it. So now it will start at loop 3 and it will just randomize where the chops are. So this gives you a completely different feel when using percussion loops.
That's interesting.
So we're starting from slice 1 now, and it's now randomizing. So let's apply this technique and use this randomized loop and make a beat over the top. So let's lay down our drums. And then we'll trigger a sample. Now you can really hear how the slice motion effect is giving the hi-hat loop so much feel, making it feel loose.
This white dude got so much soul.
Now you can apply this technique across any type of loop sample, really giving it your own feel. MPC 3 introduces disk streaming to the MPC hardware. This means that you can load up your files in seconds and play back and record long audio files direct from disk. Here's a file that I've just loaded with a whole bunch of audio tracks that loaded in seconds. Now to set up disk streaming, if you press Menu, Projects, here we can see a list of all our files in memory and streaming. If we turn off streaming, we can see all of our files that are in memory. Now I want to select my audio track and I want to change this to streaming. So we hold down the file and press Stream from disk. Now when we save this project, it will be streamed from our selected drive. You can import your MPC 2 legacy project or sequences directly into MPC 3 by navigating to your menu, then to browser, then locating your project or sequence. I'm going to use an expansion pack. So from here, I can go into my project and I can select all sequences or an individual sequence that I want to work on. And we'll select our sequence. Now we'll press Do It. And now that's going to load the sequence and the program directly into our new main mode. So now we can press play and our sequence is perfectly playing. We can now go to the arrangement, double tap, taking us to our drum grid. From here, we can take advantage of all of the new features in MPC 3, such as the arranger, to finish our tracks from start to finish. MPC 3 is fully compatible with all standalone MPC hardware from the original Live 1 through to the Key 37. You can also access all of your purchased plugin instruments and effects inside MPC 3, which are fully compatible. Thanks for watching this overview of the brand new MPC 3, which is going to be available as a...
All right. That's what's up.
You can also access all the original...
I'm gonna pause it right here because I don't know. If I was to get into this ecosystem, what would LUP go for? What would be my workflow? That's a good question. So the Live 2 has speakers. I think that's a nice touch. And you probably can get a good deal on it because I would imagine that's been out for a while. But since I'm a tactile person, I don't care for just pads. I love the pads, but I need something like the Key 37. I feel like that Key 37 will do the job well for my style of production. The 61 key, that look like an 88, by the way, but it's a 61. That 61 is nice too. So I'm looking at it. It's got more, seem like there's more buttons on there that, yeah, seems like more buttons that might do the trick too. Again, I'm not really a pad person on a keyboard. I don't really don't care for that. However, this is having an MPC within a keyboard form factor, which is a nice touch. I can't lie. I think that's the, so I feel like the 37 might be cool. Now the X up there, the MPC 1 Plus, I just think it's too small for. It's not too small. It's just, to me, it's just a smaller version of the Live 2. The Live 2 has speakers. The MPC 1 Plus don't have speakers. So it's like, but the price is nicer, should I say. So if it's a price thing, yeah, the MPC 1 Plus might be good. The screen looks a little bigger, but because the whole deal is smaller, I think it's the same size as the Live 2. But that The X is nice as well, and I'm noticing those knobs. I don't know what you call those, but those like little LED information that you could see how much of something you are inserting into whatever. It's kind of nice. It's got that retro feel. This definitely looks like a 3000. Yeah, that is definitely a model out of after 3000, the MPC 3000, the original. Yeah, it has that look, that feel. Yep, looks just like it. The cool thing about that one is that the screen tilts, and the screen is bigger. I do appreciate that. I think that's a nice touch. I do like that a lot. Like if you're gonna go for one, go for that one. I don't think that has speakers on it. I don't know. It probably do, but I don't think it does. But the 37, I think, it's like everything in one box. It's portable, small, not portable in the sense of like, you know, throwing in your backpack. I think you're gonna need a much bigger backpack, but meaning like small, compact, not in the way. Bam, it's right there in the middle of your, like that's the brains of everything. I feel like, you know what I mean? So if I was to do that, I think that'll be nice. And the screen is touch. You know what I'm saying? You know, that's always a nice feature. Anyway. The Force. This is the second time I'm hearing about the Force. The Force has fades with the clips, and they have end fades. I sing the Force. Isn't the Force wasn't that something that they were marketing heavily with Ableton Live, something like that? You said all it needs is faders to control the mixer in your DAW. Now when you say that, now you're turning it into a MIDI controller. I would imagine that this can like connect to the MPC software on your computer, and whatever you do on here, it reacts to it. That's what I would think. That would definitely make sense. Like this is standalone. That we seen the guy do everything is standalone, but like the software, like it has to talk to the software somehow. So I want to say that it does do that. That's just my opinion. I don't know what it's really doing. I don't have any of these devices, so I can't be for sure. So that's just my take as a Maschine user looking at this. Sorry, Native Instruments, I had to cover this. I thought that this was really cool. The 3.0 is definitely attractive. I'm not saying that I'm going to get this, but on this channel, we do cover things like this. We've never covered MPC products on here until now, because the software is definitely, yeah, the software is nice. The software is really nice. The Reaper says the software is seamless when you have it connected to the PC. That's what I figured. I figured that. Now, are you speaking MPC 2.0 or the 3? You have the beta version of 3. Can you confirm that the 3 works this way as well? I would imagine so. You know what I mean? Like, it makes sense. Why wouldn't it? It only makes sense to me. But supposedly this is beta, and they're saying that this works with all models, as you can see here in the screen. You're talking about the 61. Does anyone record fader automation in real time anymore? Yeah. Yeah, there's some people who does. I do it. I still do it. I still do. Yeah. But, you know, it depends on the DAW, like what's available. I know in Bitwig, when you do stuff like that, like automating something, you just hit the record button and it will automate anything, which is a nice touch. Studio One, you had to activate the automation lane, and then you had to assign the automation to something in order for you to do that. And then you had to turn on, you had to go between, you had to toggle between overwrite, latch, and touch. Because if you don't have those activated on the track, it's not going to do anything. You know what I mean? It was some steps that took place. And you know, because everything is digital and advanced, you can't automate something real time, but then most people just go in and clean it up, put a straight line. This is what I was like. That was my thing with Native Instruments. Their automation to me sucks, because everything is like step, like slant. No, it's like vertical and horizontal. And that's actually what he did here in this video when he was talking about automation. I was looking at it, I was like, yeah, there's still no smooth curves or smooth. That's step stuff too. Like, I guess that's probably all they are able to provide in stuff like this. But like, that to me is kind of annoying, but I guess that works. I mean, the way he was explaining it, it looked like he did it as smooth as he could, but it was still like broken up. As long as it sounds good, I guess. But inside of a DAW, you can create those smooth lines, smooth curves. You know, why we can't on a touchscreen like that? That might be difficult to do or not. I don't know. I'm not the developer, so I can't really answer that one. All right, so the Reaper is confirming that 3.0 is working simultaneous with the hardware. With or without. Okay, the Reaper, since you are the MPC guru, as it seems, there was something that 803 brought up not too long ago. He was talking about the limitations, the track limitations. I think it was something like he was wondering if you can do past 9 tracks. So can you confirm the track count in the standalone? Is it did did they allow more to be done now, or is it still the 9 or whatever? I'm not sure, but that was a question. Or with the ability to stream stuff, is that because the guy in the video certainly did not go past 9. He definitely stayed within the confines of, looked like he had like 7 tracks when he did that. Okay, I see. There's a limitation right there. The Reaper said, yeah, I can confirm basically, as long as you stick with the plugins and the DAW, they also have standalone options you can have with the computer or no computer. I'm just fully reading that statement. I read it earlier. It's also like the stream controller with the audio interfaces in the software, but you can use a third-party audio interface or controllers within the standalone or without. I appreciate the feedback of the Reaper. Definitely appreciate it. Definitely appreciate it. We got 19 people watching. Can y'all give me some thumbs up? I appreciate you guys watching. If you guys got any questions, feel free to do that. You have to be subscribed to the channel, obviously, in order to ask questions, because that's how it's set up. You know what I mean? Keep all the bugs out. You know what I'm saying? That's how we do it. Keep all of the haters. You know, well, not so much hater. It was, I was getting a lot of unwanted stuff because it was open to the public. So you got to be subscribed in order to make a comment. I see we growing. We got 21 people watching. Thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. Appreciate you guys. So yeah, we just did a real live review, I guess. It's not really a review because I don't have anything on my system to show y'all anything, but this was my interaction. You said 9 is more like 15. So the Reaper is saying that 9 is now 15. I hope I'm reading that right. Or are you saying it was never 9, it was always 15? You can go up to 15 in standalone mode. I guess that's good enough to do something in here, right? Maybe. You definitely need to have a focused concept. And you know what? Maybe that's why there's a sound. You know what I mean? You guys remember me saying, like, when you find people that do videos in MPC, there's a sound that you usually hear. It's like everybody is sampling and chopping samples. Like, that's the sound. Maybe because of the limitations. You know what I mean? But just based on what we see here in the video, it looks like they opened it up for production. And then if you're telling me we can only go up to 15, that might be an issue for me, but it makes sense in standalone. So maybe I can get something going in standalone. And if when I connect it to the MPC software, I can go past that, right? I don't know. I'm asking. Robert, what's up? Robert, you're new. I don't think I've seen you before. I've been holding off on MPC, trying to see if NI will come with something new, but it's not looking good. Oh my gosh, let me throw that on the screen. Maybe you've been here for a minute, Robert. I'm just not. I don't remember seeing your name, but welcome to the stream. Thank you for joining. And I agree with you, man. Like, I agree with you. I brought that statement up a little bit earlier in the stream, and there was a quick discussion on Native Instruments possibly getting ready to drop a new update before the year is out. Possibly. I can't confirm if that statement is true or not, or when that will happen. But that's not the first time that was brought to my attention. There was something brewing up in the forums about this. I posted this in my Discord channel. But I can't confirm if that is even true or not. Been watching Love Your Studio One clips. Okay. That's what's up. I appreciate you for joining me live. It's just my first time seeing you on the live. But yeah, that's what's up. I bought a Maschine MK3 about a month ago, only to find out they haven't updated their software around a decade. Now we're getting into things now. Oh my gosh. First of all, on behalf of Native Instruments, and I don't even work for them, I apologize if that was your experience. You know what I'm saying? I felt the need to say that because I'm usually the one who covers a lot of stuff with Native Instruments in terms of tutorials and how to use Native Instruments, the software. There's a lot of you guys that reached out to me about issues like support, like things that Native Instruments supposed to respond to, and because they're overwhelmed, they may not get back to you guys in the desired time frame. So a lot of you guys will hit me up on the email asking me about certain things, and I kind of feel like I'm a part of the staff, but not officially. You know what I mean? I'm not on their payroll. With that being said, there are some things I'm able to share, and there are some things that I just don't know because they don't tell us everything. However, I do know that they shared with me that they haven't forgotten about the machine. I could share that because that was a question that came up when some of us and other YouTube creators, that was a main topic. Like, so are we going to see Maschine? What's up with that? And they just said that Maschine is still their baby. They haven't forgotten about it, and they know what people are saying. But in terms of like when we're going to see something, I can't confirm, but there's been rumors. So you may be okay, because you did invest into this ecosystem, but how much of an improvement that they've done versus what we just covered here in this video on the stream with the MPC 3.0, I don't know. I don't know if that can come against this one here. I don't know. I can't say. We have been in 2.0, the Maschine 2.0. We have been in there we've been in there for a while. I do know that Native Instruments is not really, they're not really into the point updates. I can tell y'all that because that was a conversation I had. They don't really get joy in 3.0, 3 point this, 3 point that. And then here comes 4.0, and then here comes 5.0. They just make the updates. Almost like what Logic did, when X came out, Logic Pro X, when you put X behind a name, it's like, dang, what does that mean? And we was in X for a minute. So they just make updates and boom. It's just new updates that happens. There is no points like X.5, X.6, X. You know what I'm saying? There's no numeric values that tells you that we've improved. There's updates. And did you update? Yes, no, maybe. They just stayed in X for a long time. And I think we're now at 11. So maybe X really did mean 10. You know what I mean? Like X was 10. Because they was really tripping out about that. Like, why people call it X? Is just Logic Pro 10.0. Well, I mean, there's a big X there. A lot of people are not going to read the X, the numeral, what they call it. Roman numeral. That's what it was. Anyway, I'm kind of making a point. But that was what Maschine just, I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know. I feel like I'm just yapping, trying to cover for native business. Like, they have no excuse. Maybe they do. I don't know. The Complete Control came out. It was in dire need of a new update, of course. But it confused a lot of people because when they released that, it was like, okay. Maybe it would have been better if they released this and a new Maschine, or at least Maschine 3.0, that gave a better significant value to what they were pushing, which is NK 2.0, NKS 2.0. So we were just pushed, or we were not pushed, but I feel like we were given like a little bits of pieces to push and try to convince the community that this is why things is happening this way. It's because of NKS 2.0. And the current Maschine models don't support that because it needs to be a whole hardware redesign type deal that supports this NKS 2.0. But that don't matter to a lot of people because all they see is no integration with the new keyboards versus the Maschine. You know what I'm saying? That's all people see right now. NKS 2.0, 3.0, 4.0, who cares? You broke the code. You know what I'm saying? You broken the code, bro. You've broken the bro code. That's racist. I can't say that. You've broken the beat code. That's better. Because we got the females. I got to respect the females. You know what I'm saying? There's some cold female producers. So it's not really a bro code. It's a beat code. You've broken the code. And that's integration. Integration is important to us. And when that is broken, it's like the trust is broken. It's like, we can't trust you no more. I'm not saying that because I'm a diehard NI person. I love their sound. They're not paying me to do nothing. Even though they send me gear, that's not sufficient enough to hold them to great regard. I hold them, Native Instruments, to great regard because they actually make quality products. And I think they're dope. That's just my opinion, my personal opinion. So a lot of people will take what I say about them as, they're paying you to say that. Nah, they not. Which is why, if you look at my channel, that's why I'm on here talking about making beats in Ableton Live, Studio One, Big Wig Studio. Sometimes I dabble into Logic, looking at new features. And now I'm on here talking about MPC. So there you go. How could Native Instruments be paying me to uphold them in good regard if I'm on here live about MPC 3.0? So there you go. If this don't tell y'all nothing, then I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. All I'm saying is if Akai send me something, I'm just letting y'all know which model I'm going for. We're going to go with the Key 37, bro. If y'all going to send me something to test out and do some videos on, I'll go for that one. I think that one was pretty dope. I think that one's pretty dope. And, that's a hot unit right now, too. So, I don't know. If I can't get the 37, what would I go for? Man. If I can't get the 37, I might have to go with the, man, it's hard. It's gonna have to be between the Live 2 and the X. The X because of the big screen that tilts. I like that part. I had that on the MPC 2000 XL. That screen tilted. The 2000 did not tilt. So when I got a hold to the XL, bro, I was like, this is nice. The screen actually comes up. I can see it better. Man, this is fire. I loved it. I loved that about it. I love that part. But is that the only thing you like about the X? I think the fact that the Live 2 has a speaker on it and it's more sleeker. It's not as big. But I don't really care about the size at this point. Like, I wouldn't mind the bigger one. I don't know. Certainly not the MPC 1 Plus. So I feel like that's something you get when you're already in the ecosystem. You know what I'm saying? Like when you already have the Live 2, then you go get the 1 Plus. Or if you already have the X, then you go get the 1 Plus. You know what I'm saying? That's what I feel. I feel like for my first one, it has to be either the Live 2. I'm really feeling the Key 37. So Akai, send me that one. I can do some great with that one. Mad spin, no worries. Just Robert's from New Orleans. That's what's up, bro. I don't know, I'm just saying that. Welcome from New Orleans. But Mad spin, no, you good, man. You good. No worries. You know, it's all about jobs to do research on what we like. You know what I mean? What's gonna fit our workflow? We do. What you did was you went for something you thought was going to contribute to your workflow. You know what I mean? And I think you did well. Great. Cool. Because what's going to happen is I'm going to do one for Native Instruments next time around. And then there's going to be some people like, man, I'd invested into the MPC because the 3.0 came out. But man, what y'all doing over there at Native Instruments, man, that is next level. You see what I'm saying? So there's going to be some people who's going to say that about that. You know, like how could you do, what research could possibly, like, I mean, it's always great to be knowledgeable about what you do before you make an investment towards anything, right? But the way things are going, there's a lot of competition. You know, it's just unfortunate that it seems like Akai is on top of everything. They pumping, bro. They pumping. But when you think about it, Native Instruments been quiet for some time in terms of the MPC, the software. You got to think about it. What are they really brewing? They're quiet for a reason, and I think that's what happened with Ableton Live. Like when Push 2 was a thing, they didn't come out with Push 3 until they was ready. You see what I'm saying? When Push 3 came out, Push 3 checks all the boxes. You know what I'm saying? Because they was sitting back and they was analyzing, they was taking input, and they was trying to figure out a way to make this thing a hit. So they was listening to people. They was watching people. You know what I mean? They had the right people on their team. I feel like the Push 3 is like perfect. I think it's dope. What about Native Instruments? You don't think that's what they're doing? Maybe perhaps they're like observing as well. They watching. They listening to people like me. They're like they going back to the drawing board. Like we gotta get it right. Because if we don't, you know, this could be the death of Machine. I don't think that's what they attend. I don't think that that's what they're going for. I feel like Machine, if anything, Machine is a heavyweight for Native Instruments. I'm gonna say that Machine is heavyweight, but it is not seeming like that right now. Because when they came out with this complete control deal, a lot of people are not happy. The keyboard players, yeah, the people that wanted a keyboard form, they're happy. I'm happy, but I'm a Machine person. You know what I mean? Like that. I was using the Machine before they came out with the keyboard. The Machine is what got me started. You know what I'm saying? If y'all heard me say that in the beginning of the stream, the Machine is what got me started in this ecosystem, period. Before what I was trying to do in terms of workflow, the Machine is what started it for me. Is what started most of the content on this channel. So I hold them in high regards based on that. My history with them has nothing to do with what they're actually doing, which is like, dang guys, what y'all gonna do? What y'all gonna do? Cause bro here talking about 3.0 and Machine ain't came out with. I think you good, man. Don't worry. Like I said, I heard rumors. Hopefully that Machine comes with some heat, some fire. I don't know. We don't know what to expect at this moment, so we'll just see. We'll see. Yeah, 803. Yeah, definitely, most definitely. I'm going to say this. I feel like Native Instruments is very strategic about what they're doing. I'm gonna say that, very strategic. I like the Native Instrument sounds. I invested a lot into them. Absolutely, that's the reason why I rock with them. You know what I mean? Their sounds is phenomenal. To the point where I still use a lot of the old stuff that was released years ago. I still use it because it still renders quality sound. It's just quality all around. You know what I mean? Native Instrument, there's a difference here in terms of like, and I can't really speak too much because I don't have an MPC, but for so long it's been like this. If you are a music producer, when I say music producer, that means you know how to use your tracks and add layers melodically. You know what I mean? And you actually producing. You're not grabbing a bunch of samples. You actually producing, meaning like you have the ability to create chords and make them fit the track. And when you do that, a lot of times you're going to be stacking sounds that's going to do the same thing, but it's like a adding the one for building a sound to bring out that chord, that progression. You know what I mean? So you're stacking sounds and then you're adding other layers to do other things that you're not doing with the chord progression line. So you add other things, do other things, and there's a lot of that that's happening with native instrument stuff. There are type of instruments you're able to do that inside of your DAW to add that, and at that point you're not dealing with the limitations that you guys are saying here on the channel or on this video. So that means if you're doing orchestral stuff, then native instruments was one of those picks. You have native instruments libraries to achieve that. If you're doing scoring music, if you're doing music for TV filming, if you're doing commercial stuff, if you're doing tracks for artists, maybe sound design as well, you were using native instruments to articulate it. And even like quick trap beats or whatever, you also was using, it was like one of those, okay, native instruments can handle this stuff, no problem, it don't matter, whatever. The MPC, yeah, of course, you can do the same thing, what I'm saying, but it was more so like with the MPC, there was limitations in terms of like the flow or like the ability to do what I'm just saying. Like, how intuitive is that when using the MPC, if that's your workflow? I don't see a lot of people doing scores and stuff like that using the MPC. The MPC is like for more so those guys who's doing the boom bap, and because that's the nature of MPC. Maybe they're breaking away. They're clearly saying right here. I don't know if y'all get it. I don't know. Maybe y'all are. Maybe it's like a language. You know what I mean? You can see where the company's going based on what they're doing. Like in this video, this kind of broke the barrier, so to speak, because they're saying we want more than just boom bap producers. We want people that can actually create music, like production. When I say production, I mean like full-fledged of stuff that's happening in your tracks, bro. Like that's kind of what I'm saying. And maybe that's what they're trying to do here. They say, hey, Ella, we want you to join our team. I don't know. CDM, what's up? Yeah, Mako, yeah, yep. I agree with you. Yeah, I agree. They say native instruments has textures and flavors. MPC gives you 4 layers per instrument. Like basically key group, like velocity, intensity. That's what's up. That's dope. All kinds of music is made with the MPC. The MPC community is asking for this. Absolutely. You said they're a crushing machine. Maybe. Can see the MPC becoming a walk-in. Maybe. So they have gone from 4 layers to 8 layers. That's what's up. Say I'm going to sign. I don't know. I don't know. It is looking pretty good. I did like what I see. I like what I saw here in the video. We just did a reaction video. We went through the video showing everybody what was going on. I do like what I see. I did enjoy it. I did enjoy it. Absolutely, absolutely. I will be lurking around to see what other people are doing. I've seen a couple of videos before this one, and um, I'll be looking around and seeing what people takes are on this, but mostly I'll be looking at people actually making stuff. But the videos I seen today was trap producers making quick, simple beats, and it's like I want to see people do something real, and you know what I mean, using this software. I want to see full production, like full production. Like I want to see the layers and all the things that CDM is saying that they can do. I want to see people actually do that. Yeah, you know what I mean. I want to see it all. I need to see that. See, I need to make that move. Like I say, I like what I saw. I like what I saw. I certainly like what I saw.
Live one.
Yeah. And now my queue is lined up with a bunch of people who's talking about it. So I will be like looking at some more videos. But what I do here on the stream, guys, we do everything from scratch here on the stream. So I'm looking at a few new people that I'm seeing comment for the first time. We go through production all like from scratch, and you guys know those who's been around for a while. You guys know that our tracks can get up to like 60 tracks, 70, 100. I did a mix one time showing y'all. The track was like over 100 tracks. You know what I'm saying? But that's DAW stuff, and that was mixing. But production, I'm definitely doing over 15 tracks. You know what I'm saying? Full blown production. I mean, like when I say production, maybe I can give a concept to it, because maybe that get lost, lost in the sauce. Like okay, yeah, you could do that on the MPC. Okay, so when I say production, I mean like a string section. So say I'm working on orchestral music for TV, film. I need to be able to do orchestral strings. So that's going to be a cello section, maybe like one cello, because I could probably like a cello, violas, regular string ensemble. That's probably like three or four strings, and then there might be a brass section where I'm adding trombones, probably a trombone, maybe muted horns or something like that. Saxophone, depending on what I'm doing. And I may add an oboe in there. Again, all this depending on what I'm doing. Some flutes or whatever. If I'm doing orchestral stuff, I want to know if I maybe I'm like going overboard. Like, bro, seriously. Well, I don't know. But if when you talking about switching, I don't think I'm switching, because I use like 5 DAWs. You know what I'm saying? I kind of have an idea of what I can do in each DAW. Like in Ableton Live, I'm probably not doing orchestral stuff in there. I'm just probably not, even though those strings in there sounds amazing. But I'm probably not doing that type of stuff in Ableton, because I use Contact. So Studio One is probably where I will be, because I already know that Studio One can handle the type of stuff I'm talking about doing. But like, talking about drums, now we're using Contact stuff in Contact, the drums. I use Superior Drummer a lot too as well for the acoustic type stuff. So I'll be doing that, and then like pianos, Rhodes, organ. In terms of bass, yeah, we'll be using bass, guitars, stuff like that. We'll do guitars, probably like 3 or 4 guitars. A guitar for dry acoustic stuff, and then maybe a lead guitar with distortion on it, for the chorus section. Stuff like that. You know what I mean? When we get dive deep, that's easily like 30 plus tracks. When we start adding stuff. That's what I mean by production. Vocals, we add vocals in there. That's easily 5 plus additional, but that's later on, Vocals is like when you get towards the mixing process. But bro, no, not that type of stuff, bro. Talking about the type of stuff that you do for the young artists, you know what I mean? Where you just have 2 chords. 2 chords, like a organ, then a piano, maybe a flute, and then an 808, and then snare drum. That could be done in the sample pack, the sample track, the drum sampler track, the kick, the snare, hi-hat, open close, both of those, right? Maybe a perk sound, maybe some toms, something like that, and then somebody saying, hey, that's a vocal chop right there, right? And then you're done with the beat. Like stuff like that, yeah. I feel like MPC can handle that because I see that all the time. You know what I mean? I don't know, man. I might be just on here I don't know. What's up, Big Chief? What up? What up? CDM, I'm glad you said that. You said no one is killing native instrument sounds. I'm glad you said that. I do think it's interesting that everybody is agreeing on the same thing. I don't hear no pushback, bro. Everybody is saying native instrument sound is undenied, unbeatable, untouched. All of y'all are saying that. Nobody came in this chat and said otherwise. I think that is a statement. Bro, wow. There are some people that saying, man, MPC is killing it. It's like it's on a whole nother level. But nobody can deny the quality of the Maschine sounds. Everybody knows that Native Instruments is the corporate. They hold their own. They hold their own. There is no slouch. I tell you, at the end of the day, if they never put out an MK4, the Maschine MK4, Native Instruments will always be known as the GOAT in terms of sound quality. And I can attest to that since I've been using them for so long. I just did the review with Alicia Keys, the electric Alicia Keys. And I was mesmerized on the quality of those samples as I was pressing the keys. And I'm not a keyboard player, but I recognize quality. I was like, wow, man, the way that they sampled that thing, man, is man, next level. I think I spent a lot of time on that review showing y'all the quality. Like when you go to a low register, just listen to how beefy and quality that stuff sounds. And then when you go to the high register and how that stuff attacks, like it don't lose. It don't lose. It's like they do it right. Native Instruments, when they sample stuff, they do it right. They don't come in here and give you 3 sounds and then, the first sound handles this range, the second one handles this range, and the third one handles that range. So when you go to high register of those instruments, they sound funny. They lose its touch as you go higher in register. Not Native Instruments. They do it right. They spend time, which speaks to the price. Their stuff is not cheap either. So I think people that spend money and they invest on stuff, they understand the quality. They understand that. The ones that trip about, man, I can't afford it. Yeah. You're the one that don't appreciate quality. And it's understandable. You know what I mean? You could definitely play a keyboard, get a piano sound, a guitar sound with cheap stuff, of course, because they do it all the time. And these stuff becomes #1 records. You know what I mean? Like, okay, no problem. But if you appreciate quality, you know about Native Instruments. You know what I mean? That's why I rock with them. I'm glad I'm on that side. But this MPC 3.0, it's looking nice. DL, what are you talking about? Native Instruments, when you say some of your homies, when they talk about the sounds from where? Native Instruments or MPC? So I will say this. There's always going to be a difference between what you get in these virtual instruments versus the actual hardware sounds that comes from the actual synths. There's always going to be a difference because there's nothing that can compete with the actual hardware. Nothing. I'm gonna say that, and I want you to live with that for a second. Sounds that come out of the actual synth. And I'm gonna tell you something else. The same model synthesizer hardware, they will be differences between two. You're gonna see that too. They could be the same exact models, but when you go to the sound, the same exact sound on each, they're gonna still sound different because no sound is the same from one unit to the next. So it's always going to have a different sound, and that's why some of these hardware they create batch numbers to kind of like differentiate them from another. You know what I mean? There's some type of coding that they tag on to each unit to show you, okay, this is this from that era, this year, batch number, which one this was. You know what I'm saying? From that one. Same deal with like compressors and EQs and stuff like that. They all sound different. Circuitry is different in them. And then the other factor is when you use something for a while, things burn. The circuitry burns into. Also, that's also a thing with headphones. I don't know if y'all ever noticed that, but like when you buy new headphones, you notice how the sound changes over time. Probably not. Most people can't hear that, but the drivers in your headphones, when you wear them over time, the drivers burn into that. You know what I'm saying? The sound, the signal, it burns to what it's going to be. And then it becomes a little bit better over time. You know what I mean? The different tubes and mics. If you get a tube mic, a mic with a tube in it, it burns. The circuitry, the light, the electronics in there, it warms up, it burns, which is why when you use a mic, especially if there's a tube in there, you don't use it right away. You let it warm up, and then you get the warmth from that mic. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. So analog will always sound better, of course. It's analog. But when it comes to companies like Native Instruments, MPC, anybody that's doing sampling, they try to give you the best sound quality as possible, because things are now converted into digital, and digital always carries a different sound. It's not the synthesizer, it's not the hardware. We talking about ones and zeros now. You know what I mean? Things converted in a digital form. And how do we get the best sound? So in terms of like best sound, and this is not to say that Native Instruments has the best sound. It's just we talking quality. Like, they are quality. A lot of people will use their stuff because it's quality. Are they the best? No. Are they one of the best? Yes. Because there's definitely better string, like East West, for instance. Their strings are on a whole nother level in terms of, what Native Instruments has to offer. But you're also going to pay an East-West price. You see what I'm saying? And or like another company, gosh, I can't think of the name. It'll come to me. But their string sections, different level, different type of quality. Of course, absolutely. But Native Instruments is no slouch. Right, exactly. The Reaper. You know what I'm saying? The older ones sound better because they were used more. It's like this the sound is it's been through its thing. It already went through several. It heard everything. It's already printed. It's there. It's like, so. The engine, the drivers in there already warmed up. It's just gonna sound better. Absolutely, yeah, man. Yeah, I hear you, CDM. He's like, yeah, you use, okay, that's what's up. I figured you could, like, especially if you're using the software on the computer. Say you use the Maschine and Empire with an NI. Okay, use it with akai products. There's no way I'm going to spend this type of money and not find a way to integrate them into a grand scheme. Absolutely, absolutely. Who makes the best VSTs outside of Native Instruments? You gotta do research. You gotta do your research. And I'm going to say this as well, since we on that topic. So, okay. All of this is subjective. Obviously, hardware, the actual hardware, running music through the actual mix consoles and the vintage gear, you know what I mean? Things that were made physically that you can screw on your rack mount, you know what I mean? Obviously, those are it's going to produce a better sound because it's hardware. Hardware don't break. Well, it does, but on those devices, you can drive more into those units. When you're going through a compressor, you can hit it harder. You can do stuff like that. When you do that inside of your compressor in your computer, when you hit a compressor hard, you gotta be careful because it gives a digital residue. Like it may not sound as good as it would if you was pushing it through hardware. But again, all of this is subjective. It boils down to what sounds good to you. That's the end game to all of this. And for all of your friends or whatever you read this, there's going to be some people who's just going to always go for that. They're going to always say they rather hardware stuff. But it boils down to money. You see what I'm saying? To get a 1176 compressor versus 1176 model inside of your computer, there's going to be a total big difference in price. You can get 1176 made by, and again, this is going to depend on the company because different companies make them differently. They sound different. So Native Instruments make their version of 1176. Then you got Waves that make their version of 1176. Then you got there's some other companies. You got Brainwave, I believe, make their own version of it. Then you have Slate that makes their version of it. And then there's some other ones I can't think of that makes their own, you know what I'm saying? There's different versions of the same thing, the same concept. And, you know, Studio One makes their own version of it. And you got to be able to say, I want the characteristics of this compressor and not worry too much about who does it the best. You see what I'm saying? I want this synthesizer. I like this sound, but I'm not going to worry about if the actual hardware sounds better than this that I have in my DAW, because here's the other thing that can happen. There's a bunch of plugins you can put on something to make it sound different. So you can grab a reverb, you can grab a delay, you can grab, you know, depending on the DAW that you're using, it can make something sounds different from what it really is. You see what I'm saying? And then you're on a whole nother level right there, because at that point, it's not going to matter if the actual synthesizer, it's not going to matter what that sounds like versus the one in your computer that you bought for only $50. Because the synthesizer, the actual hardware is probably going to be $2,500. You understand what I'm saying? You may not be able to can afford that, or maybe you can, but how many times are you going to dial that up? And then on top of that, you got to think about this. Can you play? If you can't play the piano or synthesizers, if you don't know what you're doing, well, it's not going to matter. It's not going to matter, because inside your DAW, you do have the ability to change chords, move stuff up and down, add to it. Like me, what I do when I create. I'm not a keyboard player. I come back to it, stack on top of it, and create a bigger chord. You know what I mean? To do that is like crazy. Can you do that with the synthesizer? Like, you worried about what it sounds like, but can you play? Now, if you can play, then you can disregard everything I just said. But still, even if you can play, if you want to go back and change something, well, guess what? You got to play it all over again. And I guess now at that point, you're going to either punch that part in because you want to change the chord. If you do anything like I do on the streams, like I'll come up with something basic just to get the beat going. And then like 15 minutes later, I'm like, man, I want to change that chord because I found this bass that sounds better if I go here and I'm feeling this the way I'm going. I need to go back and change this chord. So now you go back and change that chord. But now, like, what do you do when you have an actual synthesizer that you recorded? And by the way, you have to record it as audio inside your DAW. You can't record MIDI from that. You know, if you're trying to get the sounds from it. And then the actual synthesizers, in order to get the sounds out of that, you have to actually play and move a bunch of knobs to get what you're looking for. So you can be forever especially if that synthesizer doesn't have presets. You know what I mean? And even if it has presets, how do you save custom presets and come back to that later on versus what you can do in the DAW? You find a preset that comes close to what you like, and you say, let me do further editing. And you go and change the LFO settings, and you do add a filter, and you do this, blah, blah, blah. And then you can actually save that as a custom user preset. You come back to that sound later on, it's always there. Can you do that with the actual hardware? You see what I'm saying? It's like there's different factors that plays into this versus that. You know what I mean? So you definitely have to have a great reason why you would go with the actual synthesizer versus something that you can just pull inside your DAW at a fraction of the cost. I hope that helped. Yeah, you can also do MIDI into the real synthesizer. There's definitely a technology, I know Studio One can do it. It's got this thing called Pipeline, and you can trigger MIDI notes that hit the synthesizer. You can do that too. Absolutely. So if you know how to do that, then yeah, you can definitely do that. Definitely. But at some point you will need to commit to that early than you would an instrument inside of the DAW. You see what I'm saying? Like, you got to think about how you would achieve that, how you would you know what I mean? If you MIDI trigger that keyboard, that means that's all it's doing at that moment every time, and you can't use it to do anything else. You see what I'm saying? At some point, you have to commit to that in order to move forward in the production. You know what I mean? Just imagine, okay, you want to use that same keyboard to get to the other sounds. Well, guess what? You got to bounce it down. There is no changing anything after that point, because it's only with the price point of a synthesizer. I would imagine you're not going to have 2 or 3 of them laying around doing several things. I mean, you may have different synthesizers in your setup to trigger different things, but you know, if you're anybody like me, if I'm paying $2,500 on a synthesizer, I'm gonna bounce that down. We're gonna come back and go for another sound. We're gonna bounce that down. We're gonna keep going. We're gonna stack them up, and I have to be okay with what I did, and I have to build on that. You know what I'm saying? But what do you do when you get to another section of a song, especially when you're working with artists that says, okay, can we do this on this hook? Or can we change this? Can we change this? When we get to this part, can we do this? And then you like, well, but at that point, it ain't gonna matter, because even if you're doing that using virtual instruments and you bounce in place, you know, it's still gonna be the same deal. Like, well, I have to go back and find that preset. But hopefully, as a producer, if you're working with people, hopefully you made notes or you save presets, and just in case you need to make changes. You know what I mean? But you could be one of those people who produce a beat and look for artists to write to them, and that's it. You have to be able to write what's there, and we put it out and make it. You know what I mean? But it could be the other way around, working with artists that want to change stuff. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm about to end it myself, man. It's always a pleasure talking to you guys. You know, towards the end of these streams, I do get a little bit of passionate. It does get a little wordy towards the end, because we just be conversating, man, having, you know, this is great, man. Like, this is one of those things I love doing. It's in me. I live it, I sleep it, I breathe it. This is what I do. if this type of stuff flows in my veins, man, like I've been doing this for so long and I learned a lot, and I don't mind sharing the knowledge, and I'm still learning, and I don't mind learning some more with you guys. You guys teach me a lot as well. I'm not one of those guys that come on here and just think I know everything and get upset when somebody tell me something different. You know what I mean? I learn a lot and I love it. I love it. The only thing I have issues with is when people come on and think they know what they're talking about, and if you say something outside that, they get upset and they tell you something, and it's like, really? You know what I'm saying? People that think that they push their agenda on you. You know, you got to remember, you coming on other people's channel and you coming into my house and you saying where you think my couch should go. You know what I mean? Like, when people like that comes on here, then we have a problem. But I didn't have that problem in this chat. So you guys were amazing. And yeah, that's what's up. That's why I do them. That's why we have these type of conversations, because for those people who appreciate it, these usually the ones who stick around and ask a lot of questions, or maybe just looking and seeing how I respond to them. You know what I mean? That's what it's about. That's why I do these long videos. You know, or I might be still making the beat right now, of course, because I just get in depth into stuff, and my goal is to do something different on this channel. You know, yeah, just doing something different. You know, I love helping people. That's what I do. I don't mind sharing. That's what it is right here. I'm currently building my courses back up. I got a lot of old courses on the channel. I mean, on the website. I will be updating some of these courses, sharing even deeper stuff that I have, and I'll let you guys know what's going on. But I enjoy talking to you guys. This is my field. This is what I do. You know what I'm saying? So I don't mind. I don't mind. Thank you for sharing your knowledge. Absolutely. Absolutely. Anytime. 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 All right. Thumbs up on the video, guys. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. I'm always going to shoot for thumbs up. You know what I'm saying? It helps the channel. It helps the channel out in a big way. If you guys are sitting back watching and you're not subscribed, shame on you. You should be subscribed. Check out the description area, guys. There's some stuff in there. There are some affiliate links in there, you know, directing you to feature instrument. If you're interested in that, you know, take a look, see if you know, something that tickles your or strikes your ego. There are links that lead you guys towards other social media platforms that I am on, especially Discord. Discord is the community. We keep the conversation going. So when I'm not live, the conversation just keep happening in Discord. I'm doing more helping people out in the Discord channel. So visit the description area. Yeah, yeah, if you don't mind just rewatching, you didn't really miss much, but you know, we did go through a reaction to what MPC did in 3.0. If you care to watch that, you guys can definitely watch this video on your own. Just go to the Akai channel and just watch it straight through. You know, I don't want to hear Ella just chiming in. He paused the video a lot and he want to answer questions and he talking over the guy. You know, you can just watch the video straight for yourself and, you know, see what you think. Absolutely, absolutely. All right, guys. It was definitely fun. I don't want to end the stream, but you know, I got other things I gotta do. I got this mix I gotta complete. Oh my gosh. When I say it like that out loud, I'm like, cause I got a deadline and I gotta get going on this mix. But I had to stop by and show y'all my thoughts. Man, this is dope. MPC, Akai, this is dope, man. This is dope. All right, guys. Lifestyle governed by art, as we always say. At the end of the video, I'm Ella. Y'all come back now. Remember, subscribe. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Hit that thumbs up. Ooh, 35 thumbs up. That's what's up. All right, y'all. We out of here. We didn't even do a beat this time, right? It was all reaction. All right, we out.